Is going again. I'm pretty close to on time, but these devices right now, when I'm ready to go live, don't give me the time. So, I figured I had about 5 minutes to type in some descriptions, and I figured it was 5 minutes. So if you're new to me, welcome, thank you. I'm Linda with Seaporium. We had a shop in Hyannis, and now I'm working in my studio in my basement. We do have a lot of our Dixie Belle products online. Right now, it's only the essentials, and it also works as a backstock for a booth. Now, if you're on Cape Cod, please visit Picket Fence Vintage. It's on Route 28 in South Yarmouth, and it's a delightful little shop with more people like me, creating things, finding things. So it's a great place if you like the thrill of the hunt. So, Facebook, I'm sorry, we don't have a microphone for you. YouTube, we have a microphone. Hopefully it stays on. It's a process. It's a process. You guys, I'm so excited. So I was like, oh my God, we could have done a water slide with one of the crosses. So I got this one done last night after. Okay, this is the side we did a fix. The whole end, and I can't remember what end it was, this one or this one. It was a hot mess. It was like 5-ply tissue, and it was just peeling off, and the top layer was just totally cracked off, and I fixed it. And so giving it a little texture, we did a little decoupage. This is paper that I got off of Carmen Domer. It's Carmen's Curiosities Market or Curiosities Farms Market on YouTube. And then, so we have the other side of that to do. I thought we could do the water side transfers on there. This one is all done. Okay, we did this live on Instagram, YouTube yesterday. I don't know why it's such a glare, but there is such a glare for YouTube. There we go. So I ended up afterwards putting on the leaf molding, which I said I was going to do, and we ended up instead of putting in like a decoupage of copy paper with some ephemera on there, I ended up pressing in using these tiny cute little stamps from Iron Orchid Designs. I pressed into it while it was still halfway. It wasn't really wet clay. In fact, I was surprised it came out so well. So if you're going to stamp in the clay, I suggest let it get a good crust on there. Let it dry for like an hour or more. So this is all ready to get sealed, and then we'll just brush on like a gray glaze and wipe it off so that the glaze just sits into all the little nooks and the crannies. I might do a little blushing of pink for the roses, just maybe. All right, and probably some sort of metallic, probably gold on the edge. So that one's fun, and this is what we did on the other side of it. And this is multiple portions of the new IOD transfer, and you can tell that I'm no longer a stockist. It's called Lover of Flowers, okay? So it's a small set, so it worked out nicely. In what parts we cut off, I put on ends and continued it. This one, I can't even, okay, so pretty. We do have a coat of gloss on here. You can't even see the fixes. And I could have painted it white before sealing it, but it starts out white, so why bother, right? We're gonna glaze it now that it has one coat of our Dixie Belle Clear Coat in gloss. So I can't even, I'm in love with this. I'm gonna be doing more of this. This was like a stamp mold that I got off of Zuri. So you rolled it pretty much into the clay. But we did have, because there's a rim around the whole pattern, it was interesting. I had to do a split right here because when I pressed down, that little border, the margin made like a flat line right there. So I cut it, pieced it together, and then did a fix. And we did the fix on YouTube, Instagram yesterday. This is the other side of that. So this is just portions of brocante, all right? Some of the ephemera, one of the labels in the middle over the flowers, some of the ephemera is under the flowers and the label. just kind of mixed things up. So I thought that was pretty, because this was the side we did like a off-white, pink, sort of washy, blendy thing. And then there's this one. And this one I'm super happy with. We're going to do a glaze of gray into the pink florals. I'm not sure we need to do anything to the crown. I mean, if anything, I would do a black, but because I don't think the gray is going to make enough of an impact, but we can try it. But it's already sealed, so it's ready to get glazed. And then there's this side. So again, we used that small Apothecary Labels stamp from IOD. That made this, and it made the lettering. And this is over just a cutout piece of the product cover for the paint inlay, Rose Chintz paint inlay. And it still needs something. So I already thought we would kind of highlight some of the stamping with maybe some fine line gold. But if I do that, I might try to do some of this gold on here as well, because this water slide transfer, you guys, there's metallic gold in there. So I thought we could also add some of that water slide transfer on here. This does have one coat of, I believe it's Mod Podge, because I wanted to use something thicker than our clear coat, because it's a cardboard. But I don't know if it's better with the water. This is going to be brand new, you guys. I've never used these before. This works differently than a paint inlay, which I'm familiar with. It works differently than a transfer. So we're gonna play. I can't wait. I hope you're all creating today. I always think I'm going to be ready for the lives. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen, you guys. What are you up to? Everyone's quiet on YouTube, and it appears that everyone's quiet on Facebook. So for the water slide, you want to have some water around. And you want to make sure that whatever paint you have is good and dry, because we're going to soak the transfer on the surface. So you got to think about these things. If it's soaked with water, right? If you're using a reactive paint, okay, that will, what's the word? I just had a brain fart. Reconstitute. If it reconstitutes with water, it doesn't seal up. You're going to want to seal it before doing the water slide transfer, and you're going to want to let it dry really well after. So this paint's been on here for probably a day and a half, so I think we're good. The Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paints. This is drop cloth, I believe. So it's an off-white. It's a warm white, I should say. And none of this was planned. I just said, you know what, we got to do water slide transfers, and this is the only one I kept for myself, so I'm doing it. And it'll work out because we have the gold edging on here, and we can hopefully add a little bit to this one. This one is sealed. This one is not. So this one's very matte. I did give it a light sand, and it's been wiped off. So we're going to play. I hope you're up for that. I don't even know where my product, where I'm at with everything here. I just doing some laundry, right? Get rid of headache du jour. How about you guys? Are you excited for this? Are you curious about the water slide transfers? I am. And don't be shy, please. Even if you don't want to say anything, please just, if you could, if you like what you see, and if you're new to me, welcome. If you like my kind of crazy, please share. Comment if you can, like, share. I need to get a lot more activity on YouTube because I can't really do a lot with YouTube. So we get 4 sheets. And the price points on these, you guys, are really good. You'll really like these for the price point. Just saying. So you get 2 sheets of this. Okay. And that metallic is the gold. So in here, it's just soft tans and grays. But then you get this mix of metallic gold mixed into these, and these are just straight out metallic gold. So tans and grays, metallic gold, metallic gold. So it's really nice. It's not all metallic. It's a nice blend. Not that I don't like some bling sometime. And then you get 2 sheets of this, okay? So you have nice panel pieces. And you don't have to use it as you see it here. Use this border on something. Maybe you cut off these little straight parts here and just use this for something, and then use these straight parts for something else. Sky's the limit. We're going to use a portion of this. And what's nice is when you're going to lay these down, the back side tells you exact placement. So if you're familiar with using some of these DIY products, you don't get to see anything on the back side. You know what I mean? Like you're flying blind. So it's nice that they give you a black and white rendering of so you know the exact placement of what you're putting down. Okay, that was a nice thought there. So let's see. Let's make a game plan first. Let me put the cameras down and let's see what happens. I'm hoping we don't lose the YouTube one because of the way the bracket has to go. Let's just put Facebook down. Okay. Usually I do YouTube and Instagram because Instagram doesn't let me use any outside sourcing. In the microphone or whatever. My phone doesn't let me use it, so. And I usually like to do the microphone with this iPad that I'm moving now for YouTube. But I really wanted, I don't get a lot of interaction with YouTube yet. So let's see if that works well enough for us. I think that'll work. Maybe dull down this light a little bit. Is that helpful? Yeah. So, they do have instructions on here. I've been following it, but you know, you do get the instructions. Use a clean, dry cloth to wipe any dust or debris. Peel off the clear top sheet from the design on your sheet. Align the transfer on your piece. The color side faces down, the gray side faces upward, and it will assist you in aligning like we talked about. Using a wet, lint-free rag, generously apply water to the white backing of your design. Ensure that the backing becomes sufficiently wet, and then you want to sit for approximately 3 minutes. And then you can extend it up to 12 minutes. So if you forgot, you got about 12 minutes. And for optimal results, use the thingamajig to gently apply pressure to the back while securely holding the transfer with one hand. This will help push out any bubbles and ensure proper adhesion. And slowly lift the back paper to check if your design is transferred. And after application, if there are any air bubbles that were not lying flat, gently apply pressure with the thingamajig for a polished finish. We recommend sealing with Dixie Belle Clear Coat in flat, which will reduce unwanted shine. So that was what I was wondering. I was wondering if it had a shine to it. So, because I'm assuming these are more decal-like than the inlays. So let's just pick, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the whole design on the cross, right? But I want it to be centered down here, I think. So we'll have to piece something on the sides, that's all. Okay, and we can probably use these ends to do that with. So I'm going to cut this right up the center. So we'll have another strip of this to play with. Give yourself a little margin, I think, around just to be safe. And again, I have never used these. We're doing this live because I'm me. And this is what I do, right? And then I know let's go ahead and mark this. Let's go ahead and just trim it out a little bit. I'll give myself a little margin with the pen so it doesn't go right up against the edge, all right? Just so we have a little playroom. Okay. Now let's go ahead and trim this because we can use these gold parts on our other piece maybe. I don't think we want to get this all wet and then try it again. I'm so excited for this. I have been so curious with this. And now I get to play with all these other products. That is one nice thing. And kind of, if you're new to me, what I'm talking about is I used to be a retailer for Iron Orchid Designs, and not only that, but I did a lot of videos for them. I did bi-weekly, and early parts I was doing it weekly, videos on their Facebook page. So very familiar with all the products, all the transfers, and how all that works. So this is new. This is brand new to me. So we have a rag. I want to make sure it's good and wet, like drippy, almost like drippy wet, I believe, if I remember right. And then I have a towel. This is so exciting. And take off the protective sheet. And then we're going to lay it down, and this has been well dried, this surface, so we're good. Okay, and maybe just scooch this over a little bit. This is it, you guys. Nice and wet, just like those tattoos. Transfers, I always say, are like those tattoos we used to rub on with popsicle sticks, and it would stick to our skin. These are the other kind of tattoos. These are the ones that, see, now this is why you don't want to use a straight out clay paint without sealing it. If you're using Terra, if you're using other brand of clay paints, you're going to want to seal it first. And then I don't have my thingamajig handy, I don't think. If I do, let me just check over here somewhere. Make sure I still have a microphone. I'm just checking a box because I still have things all over the place. And I'm not sure what everything is at this point. But I have a couple options if I don't find the thingamajig. But if this is here, I must have the thingamajig handy. I must have it. But I can't find it. I have everything else but that. And I'm making a hot mess. So, without finding the thingamajig, I have this little tool that you apply like signs, you know, like for your Cricut and things like that. I do have the Cricut tool. These are the silicone blades by Iron Orchid Designs. All right, so let's just lift this and make sure. And I don't know what 3 minutes is, but I think we have another minute or so, but we can check it. Oh, it's already down. It's already down. And again, you don't want it to slide, so you do hold one finger to hold it in place. Oh, this is really neat. This stuck a little bit, so let's give it a little more time. Wait till you see this. So let's go ahead and pick some designs for here. That, and then maybe that. The little gold pieces. And then we could put one up there. But then we won't have any for these sides. But that's okay. We can do something different on the sides here. But that's if we decide to do that. We're going to see what we end up doing with this whole water slide one. Okay, I feel like it's been 3 minutes. Now the thingamajig that we no longer have, and the last time I looked it wasn't available for me to buy, but if you have one, it's a little purple tool, and it has different sides of angled flat edges. I use it for the silkscreen stencils to push the paint through the screen. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Wait till you see this. Look at this. Going nice and slow. If it were me, I would do it from my side, but for the video's sake. Look at how nice this is. And it's not super shiny. It's not plasticky looking. Let me see if I can capture that. Look at this. Do you see the gold on here? See that? And we'll trim it off. I want to give it time to really set on here. And let's see how we can fill out, and then we have this to throw out. Oh, it's kind of slimy. All right. So maybe we kind of do like so. Okay. And then I'm feeling this. We're going to cut off this scroll. Okay. Oh, this will go here. Got to remember it's backwards. So this scroll would come up like so. And this little gold piece would come off of there. I like that. I like it. Okay, so we don't need this. And this was already cut to pretty much the perfect point. Oh, it's the wrong side, this side. No, what did I cut? Oh, this one here. All right. And we're going to cut right along this scroll, nice and rounded, and then over to this little gold piece. And then this one will go on this side. And then how's this gold piece going to fit in? So what's going to be interesting is we're going to have to cut off this little end of the gold piece here. Because it's just not wanting to fit. So it must be slightly off center. All right, let's put this last pieces down. Line it up. I don't know about you, but this is super fun. And what's nice is it doesn't, if you're one that doesn't like a lot of texture, and you don't like the idea of rubbing on the transfers, like you don't ever have any luck with that, this is a nice solution. So let me take this other rag and put that on here. So I don't want that to move now because I have it very carefully placed. And we're going to give that like 3 minutes. Super fun. Easy, easy, easy. I can't even. So now we can play with some of these other parts here. So let's use some of this gold. And I'm going to trim off all this gray because I don't really have any gray tying into this. And I think we had, yep, one more. Then we'll see if we can use up any of these other parts. Right, that's how those are going to go. Then I wonder, who wrote the book of love? These little parts we can add to the ends of our little stamp, right? Doesn't get any easier than this. This is doing its thing. I'm working on other little projects, and then I get to peel it off, and it's a done deal. Gotta love that. Let's see, do we have any more dots? I have some dots on this one. We can add dots to the end. But no free dots on the leftover parts. I don't want to cut into this, so we'll just leave it at that. Because I don't think the gray swirls do anything for me on this piece. So these will be leftovers for something else. If I get a mistake or something, I might be able to line up a part and use it on something. That's how that's going to roll. Let's see. Because this edge was off and I started with it, it was a little bit of a problem. We're just going to carefully fold this back over. There. This one's trimmed better. I'm not even going to use the little soft blade to smooth it out. But keep one finger down so it stays in place. And there we go. This is a done project. We just did that. And this was with reading directions and explaining it and everything. Super easy. Half hour. And we got something else in line to go now. Hi, YouTube. Oh, someone was watching and now they're off. Okay, so now let's take our little protective sheets off. And what's nice, again, we have the gray side to tell us exactly the alignment. So we take off the little protective top. We put it down. Now this has been well dried as well. This has been a couple days. It's been dry. And it's a sealed surface. It's not a clay style paint. It's not going to reconstitute when the water hits it. Okay. Now I'm just kind of blindly lining these up. I guess if you want perfection, you get the ruler out and measure the distance and everything. I'm not that girl. And one more, take the little protective sheet off. So we're going to move this up a hair. We're going to move this up a hair. We're going to move this up a hair. Again, press it down. These little tiny pieces. My ink is dried, so that shouldn't go anywhere. Although I've never soaked water over my ink, so that'll be a test. And then once again, we're just going to give everything an initial wet. Okay. And then we're just going to let this do its magic. 3 minutes. It's nice and wet. Let it sit on there a minute, and we'll smooth out any bubbles or any excess water, which I guess could be creating bubbles. But this is the one, if you're new, you're just joining on, this is one we just did. Look at this, it's so pretty. I gotta trim the excess, okay? This is the whole sheet. This is another sheet. You get 2 and 2, okay? This is Gilded Damask, I believe. Yep, water slide. You get 4 in a sheet, and I believe it's only like $15. So for like what, $4, $3, if that, I've got a done project here. Of course, I did the other side, but don't tell anyone. I like to do twofers whenever possible, and you know, a twofer, you get two for the price, two for the price of one. And again, I don't have the thingamajig. It's a little purple tool that will do the same thing. Oh, it slid a little bit. And I saw someone do this and it didn't affect the project, but let's just see. I think that's why it slid, because it was already off. Okay. Kind of get the excess water out. Oh, it's already off. I guess that's why they call it water slide. It slides off. This is so fun. Easy, I can't even tell you. You just want to make sure you don't have a surface that is going to be affected by all this water. So it's got to be well sealed and, you know, dried so that, you know, your top coat or your paint isn't going to activate. Now, any water-based product, it doesn't cure for like 21, 30 days or so. But, you know, you can still, you know, if you're working with paints, it's safe to say if you let these dry a good 24 hours, your surface, you're good to go. So I think that is now super cute. Again, I'm going to add just a little bit of some fine lines in the gold to the stamp. And then you know what we can do? We can take maybe like a little bit of a sponge edge with the gold. I took the ink pad in gray around this one on the edge and just kind of gave it a darker edge, but we're going to add gold on the very edges. So now that this is kind of dry, let's see if we can sand off that excess. You want to sand it away, not, you don't want to tear it into the piece. You want to sand it off. See, it's two-sided. This one is definitely, you know, this is Easter all the way. It says Happy Easter on it. So you turn it for Easter, but this side you could just leave out. Show your faith, right? And it looks so nice. I love the twofers. Maybe you're doing an elegant Easter one year with adults, right? And then you can go into something more vintage and fun for the kids. Just, you know, gives you options. You could do like a Christmas themed one on one side. You could do the Easter on the other. And then I'm going to give this a couple coats of seal. Now I want that metallic to show nice, so I'm going to seal this in a satin. This side's already been sealed in a satin, so that'll be good. This is going to get sealed in a satin, but let's go ahead and we sell this clear coat satin. You can go online. If you're on the Cape, visit Picket Fence Vintage. These water slides and the new decoupage paper and the transfers and silkscreen stencils will all be available there this weekend. I'm going to bring them down, I think tomorrow or Friday early. So we want a fine brush. This is not great. Let's see, I bought new brushes. What did I do with them? Did I put them in here? Because I'm having a tough time getting a nice fine line brush. That's too thick. Gosh, I should have brought my glasses just to pick out the brush. Dear Lord, that's too thick. What did I do with my new brushes? Isn't this cute? My mom painted it. She would tell you she wasn't talented, but obviously she was. This might have to do. I don't know where my new brushes are. Should have thought about that before, right? I bought a new line brush, but Lord knows where that went to. Would be nice to find it though. All right, so let's get our gold. What did I do with it? I usually have it handy. Yep. And there's so little in here. You know what I've been doing? I've just been using the cap. We don't need a lot, so it's not going to go to the edges and make a mess. Okay. And I think I probably should have had my, got a little dip water here. We're just going to kind of highlight the blessed and a little bit of stamping. Instead of like where the sun hits it being white, we're just gonna do it with the gold. Oops, too wet. It's nice to just dampen your bristles so when you're doing a lot of the painting, at some point the paint likes to dry. And so if you wet the bristles a little bit, it gives you a little more work time. And I'm just the very tip of this is touching. This the very, very tip. This is the Treasure Gold folk art. And it's not popping on here. I've been seeing some ones I think I want to try online. There's a watercolor one I want to try. It looks to die for. I couldn't decide. I went with the black ink. I mean, I could have done a color. I thought the green ink might have been nice. But it seems like everyone likes the traditional just black signs and stuff, so. Just give it a little. And if it's not perfect, that's okay, because it's what? It's hand done, right? This wasn't done by some AI, some machine. But we just want a little something to help this stand out a little bit. And tie with the gold, right? So nice. I think that helps, right? And then maybe add just little dots of the gold into the stamping. Okay, just the little filigrees, because I can't even especially without the glasses, just add in some of the spots that you see the background, your base color coming through, just dot in a little bit of the gold. And my paint is chipping off the handle of my brush. And if you're really good, I guess you could try give this like a second coat. To help that gold really kind of pop. There, I mean, it's subtle, but it's there. Again, it's a two-sided event here, so, you know, this side we're going to, let me just give this a quick dry. Let's set this down. And you know, we're going to hit the edges with this gold after. I'm going to stop the video pretty soon, but the edges will get done with the gold. Oh, I was going to tap the sides of this with a little bit of the gold. So what I mean by that is, you know, if you have a small sponge, something, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay, just a little something, okay, just to give it like an uneven, broken, distressy edge. You can even do like a clear coat and with the crackle, and then rub in gold if you want to crackle. There's Iron Orchid Designs has a stamp that you can apply the gold paint if you have gold ink, and then have the effect of crackle, so much easier than actually using the crackle mediums. Dixie Belle, we do have the crackle medium available. It's at our booth, but if you need it online, anything you don't see inventory of online, but you see listed, means I probably have it still at the booth. I might still have inventory of it, so just reach out. And anything that Dixie Belle, Silk Mineral, Bells and Whistles make, okay, that I don't have, just again, we can arrange that for your next, and have it in my next order. Okay, so we're going to finish doing that, and that'll be done. I'm not too concerned about messing up. So now I want to do a gray glaze on here. I have a mixed one already somewhere here. All right, I'm not even sure what gray. I've had it forever. I'm not sure what gray I mixed with the glaze. It's a clear glaze that, you know, mixed the paint in. And since it's I'm not too concerned about it going dry because it's just a little project. You could use whatever color. You could use an antiquing color. Use a you can use a brown if you like. You could use black. I just thought the gray would look a little more subtle. If you have just the glazing medium, or if you're just doing a small amount, after the paint is sealed, you could just do a wash of color the same way. Instead of making a glaze or trying to find a colored glaze. So I could have done a green in here if I so wanted. And then this is already damp. We're going to just kind of pull that over it, right? So that'll get done. Some of it's a little bit too dark for me, so I'll just tap it out. I wiped off my brush a little bit. And you tap out where it's sitting in there. And as long as you're working with a damp rag, it'll continue to be workable for a lot longer than if you're using a dry rag for this. So, actually I wiped off too much in here. If you want it more translucent, add water. So I would pour it out and make a little amount of this with more water, so it's not as heavy. But I just want it to be subtle, okay? A little subtle glaze in there. You could do it in a white and get that liming effect. Let's see what the pottery one looks like. This I'm dying to see. I'll need a bigger brush for this, but just a little tease, okay? We were on live and someone said, do the gray glaze. I was thinking blue. It would look kind of Mediterranean, but the gray is probably going to be more popular because, you know, it's gray. Gray and white. It's a thing. Okay. And I want it to be like a high gloss glazed ceramic finish to it. That's going to be so pretty. And the edge on this, I'm thinking I'm just going to do a nice rich gray or a color that goes with the transfer side, maybe, oh, you know what? We have the metallic green, the moonshine metallics in deep woods would be gorgeous, actually, I think. So, see what's happening? You can just brings out that finish a little bit more. If it gets to be too dark, soften it out by pulling it, you know, with a damp brush more. Right? You see the difference? And, you know, we'll do it to this as well. All right, I'm just going to go for the bigger brush. Lightly damp because I don't want it to be really dark. And see how this is going to really bring out that impressed stamp in here. Oh, I didn't even caulk this. I got to caulk it yet. So let's just do this. Just the tops, the center part. And then don't forget to move your rag around, because all you're going to start doing is mushing the gray, your glaze, whatever your glaze is, right, around, instead of getting a nice clean top. Oh, you know what? This hasn't even been sealed yet, so my bad. Let's really get this wet and get it out of there. Get it off the top. No wonder why. I thought I sealed this, but I see that it is not sealed. But isn't that neat? All right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish these off. We'll have nice little pictures later for you. And if you have any questions, please don't be shy, okay? I'm here. That's what I do. I've been doing decorative painting as a business professionally since, I don't know, about 2006 or so. So got quite a bit of expertise, I guess. I don't want to call an expert because there's areas of painting that I didn't do. I don't do oil painting. I don't do enamel painting, or what's the other one that they use with the spray. I don't do those. I do water-based. Even when I was doing murals and plasters and things like that, I was working with water-based products. So anything water-based, I gotcha. And, you know, typical top coat questions, you know, simple oil-based top coat, and of course the water-based top coats I can help you with. Waxes I can help you with. And, you know, any of the DIY products, the transfers, stamps, all that I can help you with. Don't be afraid to ask. No question is silly. And I'm very reachable. The number advertised is my cell number. If I don't answer, it's because I'm doing something, I'm doing a live, or I'm with someone, or whatever. I'll get back to you. You can text on that number. You can send me pictures. You can DM me, email me at seaporium@gmail. Go check out our website. It's through seaporium.square.site. And until I see you again, stay sassy. Bye, everyone. Okay, that one doesn't want to quit. It just doesn't want to say goodbye. Finish, okay.